Texans beat the Bengals 30-27. Texans go to 5-4. They're a game out of the division lead for the AFC South, and they're behind the Jags. It looks horrific. CJ Stroud, 23 of completions and 39 passes, 356 yards for Stroud, a touchdown, a sack. The numbers look worse. He had a rushing touchdown, a couple fumbles. But overall, crazy, amazing day for Stroud. Our buddy Nate Tice had this crazy number he found. The Houston Texans offense recorded 17 explosive plays today against the Bengals.
Wow.
Which is tied for the fourth most explosive plays by an offense in an NFL game since 2000. The fourth most. Like that includes
Think about how many games that is.
That's a lot of games.
It's like thousands of games. Yeah.
So I was thinking about this and Stroud, he outplayed the Bengals. Honestly, the Texans market corrected the Bengals. Like Stroud's like the lovable winner and everything. But I was thinking the offensive rookie of the year race is over. Like Stroud's first 9 games, like the only rookies who have had a better adjusted net yards per attempt are like Dak stepping into the Cowboys. Like that's it. Like the rookie of the year race is over. And so the larger question, if the season ended right now, is CJ Stroud the MVP?
My first reaction to this was absolute, just like, no way, like number one, has there ever been a rookie win MVP?
No, I don't think so. Not in like modern times. I mean, Mahomes, anyway. His first year as a starter, that wasn't that long ago. He'd sat his rookie year.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I don't know. Schefter asked this question. He was like, Stroud, welcome to the MVP race. And my first knee-jerk reaction was, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Same.
He's a rookie. He can't be an MVP. And then I thought about it and I was like, is him being a rookie the only reason I'm not considering it? Like, I actually started to question myself. So I was like, I did a little make the case here where I put it. I don't even know if I believe it, but then as I looked into it, I convinced myself.
Right. You reverse engineered the take.
For context, coming into the MVP odds, and again, there's no real MVP favorite this year. Coming into it was like Lamar and Hurts were like 3-1, and Mahomes was also tied there at 3-1. And there was like Tua, Burrow, but then no one knows. So like for context, entering today, Stroud was tied with Trevor Lawrence at 40-1. That's going to change.
Oh, yeah.
So like these numbers coming in, there's like 10 guys ahead of him. You can almost throw it out. Like he's behind Goff. Like that's all going to change by the time you listen to this. So I was looking at it. I'm cheating a little, but if you look at the numbers since week 2, and I know that's like cutting out week 1, whatever. This is his first career start, but you can cut out week 1 for like every starter. Like Joe Burrow had 82 yards in week 1.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes didn't have Kelsey and lost. Josh Allen threw 3 picks to the Jets when they were shell shocked from Rodgers. Like everyone had a bad week 1. If you take it's just since week 2, CJ Stroud, first among all quarterbacks in yards per attempt, first in yards per completion, most completions of 20 plus yards, lowest interception rate in the NFL, which I think is insane for the rookie to be the only guy.
2 picks on the year.
Yeah. CJ Stroud, second in passing yards since week 2, second in expected points added per drop back. And he's only, Purdy's first, but we all know that's kind of like a Shanahan inflation thing. It's like second in
this is the Shanahan offense, sort of, right?
Yeah. So there you go. But Stroud's also second adjusted net yards per attempt. And the guys he's ahead of are like in EP per dropback and adjusted net yards per attempt are ahead of Josh Allen, Mahomes, Dak, Herbert, Hurts, Tua. My point being, the numbers are there. And at this point, it's our job to just add the context to the numbers. But the numbers are legit. Like in terms of MVP stuff, like those are all MVP numbers.
I think that, so the way that I look at this is if the season did end right now, I think a lot of times this is a award that it matters like what you did lately. You know what I mean? Like if you finish strong, if you finish on a tear, if your team is one of the best teams in the NFL at any given time when the voting happens, like that helps a lot. And obviously the Texans are really hot right now. But I mean, we can't forget this is like a team that lost to the Panthers 2 weeks ago or
10 days ago. Yeah. That's not great.
So I don't know. I was thinking about it because I really love Stroud. Obviously, like he was my QB1. I'm super excited about this. I think he comes in right now. Like we need Stroud because there's so much bad quarterbacking across the NFL, and he's so much fun to watch because he's like all the numbers you pointed out. He's pushing the ball down the field, explosive plays. Tank Dell is really fun. Obviously, Nico Collins didn't play today, but he's been really awesome. I still just, I don't know. Maybe I feel it's still Mahomes for me.
I get the Mahomes thing, but here's the thing. And look, obviously the Texans are freaking 5-4 and all these other teams have better records. Like obviously like the 5-4 team that's still like on the outside of the playoff picture is probably not actually going to win MVP. But I start thinking about it. If the Texans make the wild card, if you actually win the division, because I started thinking about it and I was like, if we step outside the box of what a usual MVP is, especially if the Lions end up getting the 1 seed because Goff's not going to be it. It's usually like a quarterback with a bye. But if you look, and I'm like, the difference between these other guys who are ahead, and again, as of this morning, the people, Lamar, Hurts, Mahomes, Tua, McCaffrey and Purdy. The fact McCaffrey's ahead of Purdy says everything to me. But you look at him like, there's no like awesome head coach or play caller. Like Andy Reid or Mike McDaniel's not calling plays for for Stroud the way it's like DeMeco Ryans, the Texans head coach, is a first-year head coach. The offensive coordinator, Bobby Slovic, is a first-year offensive coordinator. It's not like Mike McDaniel or Andy Reid, like some guru necessarily doing it. There's no insane offensive line. Like the Eagles have this crazy offensive line. The Texans' O-line's been hurt all year. There's no Tyreek Hill like Tua has. There's no A.J. Brown like Jalen Hurts says. There's no Travis Kelce like Mahomes. Nico Collins was out today, and that he's their best receiver. It's like Tank Dell, who's a rookie 5'8" player. Noah Brown, who had more receiving yards in his last 4 games than his first 4 years. Like these are the weapons. There's no. My thing with Mahomes, obviously you can argue for him. The flip side is, I think Patrick Mahomes would say the reason the Chiefs are winning right now is the defense. MVP, you have to be like, well, why are they winning? And start with the quarterback. Like the fact, it's a question on the Eagles. There's A.J. Brown or Hurts. It's like Tyreek Hill or Tua. And I'm like, why are the Texans winning? It's C.J. Stroud. Lamar, it's like, is it the defense? The fact you even have to ask the question, Burrow's the reason the Bengals are winning now. They lost today. He was the reason they were losing to start the year. So it's like, I don't know. It's not insane.
Especially on a day like today where the Ravens absolutely blew it and Lamar threw a pick 6 late in the game. Like, it's hard to say Lamar deserves it right now, even though I think on the whole, like he's done extremely well this year, and there's a reason he's number 1 in the odds right now, or at least coming into this week. But I will say, like the Chiefs' offense, Kelce is the only guy in that offense right now. They don't really have a run game that's super effective, and they're still the 6th ranked offense per DVOA. That's Mahomes. I mean, he elevates everyone around, and I mean that's higher right now or coming into this week. It probably will change a little bit after this week because the Texans were so good. But I mean, the Texans are 9th in DVOA. So I don't know. You make some very compelling points, so I will be honest. Stroud, I think, is closer to an actual legit contender for the MVP than I even realized. And because my first impression was to like scoff at that. But I mean, you do make some compelling points.
To be clear, if I actually had to vote, I'd probably still pick Mahomes.
Right.
But my point is, it's like, there aren't that many people ahead of Stroud, and that's kind of the only point I'm trying to make. It's like you can put Mahomes, you can put Lamar. I'm like, it's, Jalen Hurts. Like I'm sure Carlos, the producer here, is listening, screaming about Tua. But the point is, it's like there are very few. But there are very few people that you actually could put ahead of Stroud, which considering he's a rookie is insane. That's all. So what a crazy game for CJ Stroud.